Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss about intrauterine growth retardation. So this intrauterine growth retardation, also called as dysmaturity, small for date and chronic placental insufficiency. Let's see the definition. Intrauterine growth restriction is said to be present in those babies whose birth weight is below 10 percentile of the average for the gestational age. So, when there is a growth restriction which is about below 10 percentile of the average baby, then it will be termed as intrauterine growth retardation. Growth restriction can occur in preterm, term or postterm babies. So, let's see the incidences. Dysmaturity comprises about 1/3 of low birth weight babies. So, in developed countries, its overall incidences is about 2 to 8%. The incidences among the term babies is about 5% and that among postterm is 15. So, overall in all pregnancy there will be a 5 to 10% of babies may have this intrauterine growth retardation. Let's see types of IUGR. Small and healthy. So fetuses, those are small and healthy. When we see the babies, the weight is less, but they are healthy. So the birth weight is less than 10%, then there will be termed as intrauterine growth restriction. But in those cases, if the baby is healthy, they have normal ponderal index. So like normal subcutaneous fat and usually have uneventful neonatal course. So then they will be called as small and healthy. Weight will be less, but they are healthy. So the second is a pathological process which is abnormal. In that, symmetrical and asymmetrical. Symmetrical is 20%. That means in the early phase, during early phase of pregnancy, what happened here? Noxious effect in early phase of cellular hyperplasia, the total cell number is less. So, in the symmetrical, when there is a abnormal chromosomal congenital infections like TORCH. So, these may cause this IUGR. So, the pathological process started at the early phase. Due to that, chromosomal abnormalities are congenital infection. That will come under symmetrical. Okay, so in the early phases, due to the chromosomal abnormalities or congenital infections, so that will come under symmetrical. Then asymmetrical, so about 80% chances of asymmetrical. So the fetus is affected in later months, not in early phases. So here what happens, the total cell number remains same. So as I said that cell number will be less in the symmetrical. In asymmetrical, cell number will be remains same. Size is smaller than the normal. But the pathological process that too often result in asymmetric growth retardation. Like if fetal size is reduced due to uteroplacental blood flow, decreased uteroplacental blood flow to the baby. So in symmetrical, what if there is a cell number is less or due to chromosomal abnormality, but in the asymmetrical, from the placenta to the placental blood is going less to the fetus, or by restricting the oxygen and nutrient to transfer to the baby. So when there is a restriction of oxygen nutrient, how baby will grow? Baby will not grow. So there will be a IUGR. So why here they have said symmetrical, asymmetrical? This is due to the chromosomal cell number is less, chromosomal abnormality. Here when the decreased uteroplacental blood to the baby, that is asymmetrical. So most cases will occur asymmetrical. Then let's see the etiology. Let's see maternal. What are all the maternal causes? So under maternal, constitution. So small woman, maternal genetic and racial background. So due to that, in that there are these risk may be increased. Maternal nutrition. So if the woman is not taking proper diet during her pregnancy, so that may definitely affect fetus. So if she is not taking proper diet, she is not maintaining balanced diet, so that may not reach to the baby. And maternal diseases like anemia, hypertension, thrombotic diseases, heart diseases, chronic renal diseases. So these all come under maternal diseases. These also may cause IUGR. If the mother is having anemia, less blood, how the baby will be, how it may reach to the fetus when she doesn't have enough hemoglobin in her body. So that may not transfer to the baby. So in those kind of diseases, IUGR can occur. Next, toxins. If the mother is taking alcohol, smoking, cocaine, heroin, drugs, so these all also may cause this IUGR. This is about maternal. Next, fetal causes. Structural anomalies, as I discussed before itself, when the cell number is less or a chromosomal abnormality, infection like torch. Torch meaning is toxoplasmosis, rubella, cytomegalovirus, herpes simplex. So if these infections will cause IUGR. And multiple pregnancies. See, if there are 2 babies or more than 2, so if the uteroplacental blood is not sufficient from the so demand of the fetus will be more when there are 2 or 3 babies. So definitely it may not reach to the all babies. So that is also one of the cause. Placental causes like placental insufficiency. Placental insufficiency. As I said that when there is a less nutrient going to the baby, so it may cause IUGR. And placental pathology like placenta previa, abnormal position of the placenta or bleeding from the placenta. So if placenta is unwell, so it may not give sufficient blood to the baby. Next, let's see the pathophysiology here. Pathophysiology is when the placental vascular dysfunction, if placenta is not working properly, the abnormal nutrient transfer. Nutrients may not reach to the baby and baby cannot take sufficient nutrients, and demand of the fetus will increase. So here placenta is not supplying up to the mark, then definitely the fetus will not grow. Finally, the result will be intrauterine growth retardation. Next, diagnosis, clinical diagnosis. So under clinical diagnosis, clinical palpations, what is the fundal height? Like symphysis fundal height. When there is a fetus growing up to the mark, like suppose fetus has to grow till umbilicals till 24 weeks. But if it is not growing below umbilicus, that means there is a fundal height is less and the baby is not growing up to the tongue. So and maternal weight gain. So depending upon the maternal weight gain also in clinical diagnosis, we can diagnose this IUGR. If the mother remains same, if she is not putting on weight, that means the baby is not growing properly inside the womb. And measurement of abdominal girth, that also will reveal that the if the baby is IUGR or not. Next, biophysical. So in this biophysical, the fetus head circumference and femur length, amniotic fluid volume, this all will come due, with that we can diagnose this IUGR in early stage. And Doppler studies, ultrasound Doppler studies. So Doppler velocimetry, uh, cerebral ponderal index, so this may reveal IUGR. Physical features like weight, length, head circumference, so this all can reveal this IUGR. Complications. So there are immediate complications and late complications. Immediate are asphyxia, hypoglycemia, meconium aspirating syndrome, pulmonary hemorrhage, hypothermia, polycythemia, intraventricular hemorrhage. Late complications like retarded neurological intellectual development in infancy, because the fetus has not grown properly, so there might be increased chance of neurological and intellectual development, and increased risk of metabolic syndrome during in adult life when they grow as adult. Mortality, most of the babies die within 24 hours, but morbidity rises about 50%. However, if IUGR baby has survived, they suffer with these complications, and if there is a more like most of the babies will die within 24 hours, and 50% of chances of complications. Management. Let's see general management. In general management, the adequate bed rest should be given to the mother in left lateral position, and malnutrition has to be treated by giving balanced diet. That means 300 extra kilocalories has to be given to mother, and maternal hyperoxygenation. Oxygen supply should be given, that is 2.5 liter per minute by nasal prong, and low dose aspirin like 50 mg daily. Low dose aspirin 50 mg daily should be given. And so these are if there are selected cases like history of thrombotic diseases, hypertension, preeclampsia, so previous any IUGR, so that should be taken into the consideration. And antepartum evaluation, so ultrasound examination, fetal well-being, so this all should be taken under evaluation. Doppler ultrasound, and timing of delivery. So when should be this delivery should be done, like if there is any fetal abnormality, or how much is the duration of pregnancy, before 37 week or above 37 week. So before 37 week that delivery should be done. So if there is above 37 weeks, if there are any complications are there or not. So in severe degree of IUGR, we'll see lung has been matured or not. So this all should be taken into the consideration, because so till 37th week the lung has to get matured. Surfactant in the lung have to get matured. Then they have to go for the delivery. So that should be evaluated. And methods of delivery, which method delivery should be going to be done, like severity of IUGR, any maternal conditions or complications are there or not. So that which method, low rupture of membrane by followed by oxytocin, or any intrapartum monitoring like continuous electronic and scalp blood sampling. So this should be done during the delivery. Caesarean delivery without a trial of labor should be done, and care during vaginal delivery. So this should be done. And let's see in the schematic way management protocol. So pregnancy before 37th week. If in the severe IUGR, if fetal surveillance, how much fetal surveillance? If non-reassuring fetal status, assess for the lung maturity. If not mature, go for beta-methoxam therapy, then go for delivery. If mature, then directly can go for delivery. Mild IUGR. In mild cases of IUGR, general management should be given, like increased rest in lateral position, folic acid supplements, increased fluid intake, and continuous fetal monitoring. Then they can go for delivery. So these are the management protocols. Hope you people have understood. Let's have a quick summary. See, when there is a uterine growth restriction, it is said to be present in those babies whose birth weight is below the 10th percentile of normal baby. Normal gestational age, that means birth weight. Incidences like 2 to 8% in developed countries, and among term babies it is about 5%, among post term 15%. Types: small and healthy, and there are two types, small and healthy and pathological. Under pathological, symmetrical, asymmetrical. I said already, symmetrical, it comes due to the chromosomal abnormalities or when there is a cell number is less, but here cell number is remains same, but due to the pathological, if there is a less uteroplacental supply to the fetus. Etiology: maternal, fetal, placental and unknown. Clinical diagnosis: biophysical, ultrasound, Doppler studies, physical features, and we have seen complications, late complications. So management. So under management, general management, antepartum evaluation, timing of delivery should be seen, methods of delivery and care during vaginal delivery. Management protocol. Hope you people have understood. If you have any kinds of doubt, please contact.